It's your girl, VK Johanum, and the V stands for Vidian. Tonight, we are talking about the Goetic demon Valak, who I recently started working with. Now, so far I've only done 2 spells, a few short channeling sessions, and 1 meditation with him. And this video isn't really about those little spells. I'll talk about one of them a little bit, but what this video is about is what Valak has been doing since. This is a wildly unpredictable demon. Like, fuck doing rituals. Well, most of what I've gained from this has had not much to do with the rituals or meditation I've done. Valak has just sort of been making wild shit happen. So how does our story begin? It begins with my last visit to the lovely J.S. Garrett. Or as I like to call him, Redneck Anton LaVey. So here's how this begins. I'm hanging out with him and his significant other. He randomly comes over to me with Valak's sigil and says, "Hey, I want to summon Valak before we go to the creek. And I want to ask him to make us see a bunch of snakes." And I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? So we all did a ritual together to summon Valak. Now, Valak appeared to me as female, which is nothing new. It's hardly uncommon for demons who are traditionally recorded as one gender to appear to me as a different gender. And sometimes it's common for them to want me to work with both their male and female aspects. So Valak said to me, I'll be seeing you soon. I'm glad you finally summoned me. And that's all she said. She appeared to me as a woman with snow white skin, pitch black eyes, and long black hair. So we go to the creek to see if our little experiment worked. We were there for probably around 45 minutes, and we didn't see a single snake. And we were looking for him too. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I saw Valak, I heard Valak, and she didn't do what we asked her to. And I told the 2 people who summoned the demon with me, yo, we just summoned a powerful demonic force. She came, and she has something in store for us, but it has nothing to do with our little experiment. Strap in. That night, J.S. Garrett's girlfriend had a nightmare. Part of the nightmare pertained to shit that she had going on personally, which is not my place to go into, but part of it had to do with snakes. And I was like, hey, I think Valak gave you that dream. She's like, nah, I think I just had snakes on the brain because of the experiment that didn't work. I'm like, no, I think Valak did that. After a little more time, I drive back home to this apartment. And then, of course, Valak comes to me and says, hey, I have a meditation for you to perform. She gives me a very strange sigil and says, okay, meditate on it with this magical chant as a mantra, and then burn the sigil. I'm like, okay, how many times should I do this? She said, just once. It's to help strengthen your connection to your higher self. I said, okay, can I release instructions for this on the internet? She's like, nope, this one's tailor-made for you. Use it once, forget about it. It wouldn't work for anybody else. So I did the meditation, went well. And this is when things got strange. That night, I had a nightmare. Snakes were in it. I think it was actually the worst nightmare I've ever had in my entire life. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go into detail, but it was real gross. It like ruined. I think it might have permanently ruined a certain type of food for me. So that's why I'm not explaining it. You might be eating right now. It was real nasty. Now the dream wasn't just about snakes. The dream was also about the woman I had slept with most recently. My most recent, serious love interest at the time. Now I start doing some research about Valak, and I see on a website called Occultopedia that Valak astrologically represents conflict in relationships. So the dream made perfect sense. Valak had given me a snake dream, trying to help me reflect on the mistakes I've made in, pursuing love. Time goes on. One day, I'm casually video chatting a practitioner who goes by Aurora. We're just chilling out in video chat. Now, at one point in the video chat, I got up to get some water from my fridge, so I set my phone down, right? And that was when she was able to see this snake necklace. This necklace that I've had for years. Now, I already knew that Aurora had cast a spell that night, but there was a detail she hadn't told me. As soon as she saw this necklace, she said, "Yo, that S necklace. I saw an S just like that in the candle during my spell." I'm like, huh. And I'm looking at this thing, the snake, and I'm like, Valak has been giving me a lot of signs in the form of snakes. I just started working with her, him, whatever, for the first time quite recently. She said, "Huh, that's funny. Valak appeared to me recently." She said, "I thought someone had sent him to attack me, so I asked Belial to banish him." I was like, "Yeah, Valak appeared to me as a woman." She's like, "Yeah, Valak appeared to me as a woman too, with long black hair." I'm like, "No way." So I'm like, "When was this? When did this happen?" She said, "About 3 weeks ago." I whipped my phone out, and I started scrolling through my text with Jesse, JS. That's what the J stands for. I started scrolling through my text with Jesse to see, when it was that I visited him, because I keep track of time badly. And I see it had been 3 weeks since we first summoned Valak. So Valak obviously wanted something, and Aurora was going to help me figure it out. She said she would whip out her tarot cards and do a reading about what Valak wanted. While she was shuffling, I decided to discreetly and telepathically communicate with Valak. And Valak told me that she wanted me to publicly expose a satanic creator who I used to be friends with, Corvus Diaboli. If you follow me on TikTok, you probably saw that. When I did it, it really caught fire. But that's what I heard Valak say she wanted me to do. Now, I didn't tell Aurora that Valak had said that to me. I also didn't tell her that I'd channeled at all, because, I'm like, some psychics, like me, can occasionally, well, I'm better about it now. Some psychics can occasionally mess up their reading if they know they're confirming someone else's, because it can make them a little anxious. That's my main weakness as a psychic, my performance anxiety. But Aurora finishes her reading and gets the exact same answer. So, I contacted Nina Daniela, a female friend of mine who was groomed by Corvus when she was an underage girl. I also called my friend May, who was spiritually and psychologically abused by Corvus when she was a grown woman. The two didn't know each other, but I told them what Valak had told me to do. Nina Daniela told me, like, yeah, I love Valak. He's tricky as hell, but I love him. I'm like, oh, you're telling me he's tricky. Holy shit. They both agree. Two other women wound up coming forward publicly as well. One was named Kismet, that's what she goes by. The other was Veronica. Two of them came forward about being groomed, but they were underage, and the other two came forward about being otherwise predated on. We exposed him for the predatory behavior towards women, as well as for cursing prepubescent children, which we did provide proof that he does. Something strange happened. So here's how we did it. I told Nina and May to post their videos at the exact same time. Then I watched their videos as quick as I could and made my own. Meanwhile, a bunch of other creators were waiting to share their videos, right? Creators I'm friends with. But the strange part was this. Two anonymous accounts spent money out of their own pocket to promote our videos. I don't know who those two are to this day, but they spontaneously paid to promote our videos about Corvus. Both did that within an hour of our videos going up. I had never had someone pay to promote one of my videos in my life. I didn't even know it was possible. The women would say the same. But boy, did that shit go well. Everyone banded together in support of the women. Well, some tried to help Corvus, but they were very unsuccessful. But yeah, I figured that would be the end of all the weird synchronicities. I still have one meditation to do with Valak, one that works with water energy for emotional healing. I won't be teaching that one either. It's for me. But well, I probably won't, at least. Maybe I can get a version that everyone can use. You kind of need to have unified your chakras to do it. But things have continued progressing. Now, I mentioned May and Kismet were two of the women who came forward. One night I was casually video chatting Kismet, not expecting anything to happen, not expecting any more snake synchronicities. Oh, I skipped something. Before I video chatted Kismet, J.S. Garrett finally got his snake synchronicity. He was just walking outside in his backyard when he suddenly had a vision of a king snake, which is a type of snake. He wanders out into the brush, and what's he find? A damn king snake. He takes it in as his new familiar. He said that I'll be getting a snake familiar too. I'm not sure. I'll get something, I'm sure. But yeah, that happened. But yeah, after J.S. Garrett tells me about that, later that night I video chat Kismet just to chill. She shows me this new necklace she got. A snake necklace. I'm like, oh, funny. I've been getting a lot of snake synchronicity since I started working with Valak. She's like, weird. I've been hearing Valak's name a lot lately, and I've been feeling really drawn to snakes, especially king snakes. I hadn't told her about J.S. Garrett finding the king snakes like that. That was wild to me. I mentioned to her that I thought she and May would really get along. They have kind of similar personalities. After my video chat with Kismet, I was scrolling through May's posts and I saw her in the comments section saying, you know, if I was an animal, I'd probably be a dragon. Or a snake. I'm like, there, you too? What? Everyone. Oh, God. I got other synchronicities about May specifically. But yeah, I told her about how the comment was a synchronicity for me. She was like, weird. I've been binge watching snake memes. I'm like, oh. Well, I've been getting a lot of snake synchronicities since I started working with Valak. She's like, huh. I haven't been able to get Valak's name out of my head out since I watched that movie, The Nun. I'm like, okay. Well, May, I think it's time for me to introduce you to Kismet. Oh. That brings you to the present. This has been wild as shit. This is probably one of the most unpredictable failed magical experiments I've ever... Nah, we did one spell and 6 different people were getting snake synchronicities. 6! So far, I guess. I remember JS was getting frustrated about it. She's like, so you and my girlfriend both had snake dreams. And whoever the fuck Aurora is been having snake synchronicities. Where the fuck is mine? Then, of course, he finds the king snake. Oh, my God. But hey, that is an inside look at what my experience with Valak has been like so far. There, depending on how private shit is for people, I might make a part 2 to this at some point. But for now, have a great night and enjoy your immortality. Check out the link tree in the description below if you want a little more VK in your life.